this is a part two. Like part one was so in depth that we had to go into a part two. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of New Life. So, Dedric, we're gonna go ahead and get started where we left off at. We talked about last week a little bit about just his entire transition. You were able to see. We talked a little bit about grief and family and things like that, and that's what we want to pick up at. Are you comfortable with that? Because I want to let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
So, as you know from last week, Dedric actually in February lost his leg below the knee. And what's so interesting about that is that he has not missed a beat, driving, moving around, working, like not missed a beat. But that still takes a toll on your mental health and your family. If you don't mind, tell us about that just a little bit. Like, what's the after effects? Like, what does the after this looks like?
Um, you still have to go on with everyday life and, get used to, like, I'm, still trying to get used to the leg. I mean, I gotten better with it, but it's still certain things I'm still trying to accomplish with it. So it takes a while to get used to it. But I'm still moving around, driving, and doing other things.
And y'all know I like to dive into mental health just the incy bit.
Of course you do.
Of course. Well, before I dive into that, do you have any questions?
Well, thanks for referring to me. And I said that just sitting over here on the sideline.
Come on, Janu, with your new life. I mean, hey.
Nah, you do such a good job. I'm just here like a fly on the wall just to give people these amazing stories and bringing people, stories of survival and triumph. But you like more of the, what is it?
I have questions.
You have the je ne sais quoi.
No, I just have a lot of questions. I'm inquisitive.
But now, I just wanted to ask you, man, still you do DoorDash and stuff too, right? You still back to work and stuff like that?
Yeah, I still do a dash when I can.
Okay, so how does that affect, is it hard to get up and down, and how to tell people about that, like, how, your movements and stuff like that, like, just your everyday, knowing people just get out the car and go on. I know everything is like I don't want to say struggle, but it's a task, so to speak, or an obstacle that, how do you deal with the obstacle of, getting your job done?
Well, I still, get out the car and go inside wherever I need to go and pick up the orders.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them, I just, when I get to the customer house, I just get out the car and put it at the door sill, take a picture, and some of them have to go up steps. Mm-hmm. That's where the challenge is at.
Okay, gotcha.
Going up the steps because I got to hold on to a railing or something because I'm not that good at walking up the steps without using my hands yet on the railings.
Gotcha. Balance and everything.
Yeah. So I haven't had therapy since I lost therapy before I got my leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I've been doing this on my own, really.
And that's an entire issue in itself when you think about the things that we need in order to be successful. When we talk about, just physical therapy, like how did you find have you been advocating for yourself or how does that process work for you to get exactly what you need?
I guess I would have to, I can't get back in touch with the people I was receiving therapy from, but they would have to do their job with the insurance part, because that's what stopped me from getting my therapy. It was somebody in their office didn't do, and I ended up losing my therapy. So I don't know if I can go back with them or if I would have to get with my insurance company and find out who they cover, because I switched insurances too recently.
And what gave you the strength to just say, you know what, I'm not worried about it. Like if you guys don't do what you're supposed to do on your end, it's not going to diminish my will to do whatever I have to do on my end.
Yeah, I still got to keep going regardless.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's an amazing thing, man. Like people always have excuses of why they can't do stuff or why they don't do this and do that and stuff like that. And this is what I really don't have tolerance for, because there's people like B and like myself and like other people I know that's been through way worse situations, way challenging and tragic situations, and we still going, man. We don't let that stop us, man. You know, there's no excuses with this, man. That's what New Life is about too, as well. There's no excuses. If you just get it done, you know, whatever needs to be done, we get it done. So at no particular time, no nothing stopping us. No, our mindset. Like I said again, that's the mindset component of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as well as discipline, because you still got to do what you got to do even when you don't feel like doing it. And that's the remarkable part. And when you do it like that, it makes it easier for everybody. For you, not only you, but for everybody. And it gets easier to do as you do it repetitiously. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Do you ever find yourself feeling like just in a fog? Like, I'm just so irritated with just being in this situation. Like, because I really want to let people understand, like, some days you will have good days and you'll have bad days. Or not so good days. I'm not going to say bad days, but not so good days. Some days are greater than others. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you battle that? Or do you find yourself in those situations? Because I want people to really realize that even though you see Dedric pretty much on the other side of things, it doesn't necessarily stop. Like at one point we were talking about phantom pains. We were talking about, just the toll that it takes on you, the toll that it takes on your family. What does all of that look like?
Yeah, it is irritating at times, but I don't get irritated too much because, I still have things to do, and I try not to think about it as much. And for his family, it was really, I guess, like when I first ended up in the hospital and I lost my leg and gone away from home all that time. Yeah, it was irritating the family because it's like I was an hour and something away from the house too. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like my wife was able to come and drive and see me every day because she still had to make sure my son get to school. Mm-hmm. On top of going to work and getting rest and handling business on her end. Mm-hmm. So, it's irritating and it does affect everybody.
And then on top of that, hold on, see, I don't want to cut you off, but on top of that, people gotta understand now he's the amputee. He does dialysis on top of it still. Mm-hmm. He still has to go to dialysis. How many times a week?
3 times. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
How many hours a day?
4 hours and 15 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like a half a work shift. A lot of my time is taken up on that day.
Anywhere you go, you gotta find a dialysis center. Like, say for instance, if I just wanted to, I say, hey, Dedric, man, let's go to Myrtle Beach, man, for the week. Let's go to Myrtle Beach for the week. How would that affect your traveling and stuff like that?
Well, if it's just a weekend trip, if I'm going like on a Friday evening and coming back Sunday night or something, well, I don't have to find a dialysis center.
Facts. But what if it was during the week?
During the week, well, yeah, I would have to let, I guess that's the receptionist know at the dialysis place, maybe like a few weeks ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So she can find a clinic that'll be close to where we're gonna be at. Mm-hmm. That has an opening that could take me for them days.
Gotcha, but you can't just say like if you decide like today is like Sunday, it's a Monday night. Say for instance, it's a Monday night football game in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is 4 hours away from here. You can't say, "Come on, D, let's go over and hang out, and then we're gonna stay in Charlotte for like a couple of days." You can't just do it like that. Gotcha. See?
And I want you guys to really understand, like, what Dedric is saying is that he's spending what's equivalent to a part-time job on staying alive.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
Okay, so just to break it down to you like that, like he's spending half of a work week on making sure that he stays alive the other half of the work week. Okay, so it's in other words, it takes a toll on your body. You know, like it's not just you know, what he just said was I'm still going to work. So in other words, when you have dialysis, that's taxing. So if I'm having dialysis and it's taxing on me, that means I don't really feel like doing anything else, but I'm gonna do it because of what?
It got to be done.
So y'all hear it. I'm gonna do it because it got to be done.
That's it. In a nutshell. We should just end it on that.
And then some days you just come home and gotta rest because you're too tired to do anything.
And even though we could end it on that because that's a mouthful, I'm doing it because it got to be done.
Right.
But what could you say to others around you? Because one of the portions of this is really like a caregiver's component. Like because we have caregivers, we have individuals who are going through some things that don't really want to ask for help. But what would it, or how could it have been easier for you in this transition? Like if you needed something from someone, how could I ask for what I need? Like how could we have been more supportive? You know, like if you're looking at your wife, if you're looking at your son, if you're looking at family members, what would you say would have made the journey easier for you?
To be honest, I mean, people can only do what they can do for you. But to make it easier, you just have to, like, before depression sits in and anything else, you got to find something that you like to do that's going to keep you busy for a while and keep your mind off things that helps with making the journey easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of it is mental too, because sometimes you see things in the place and why, you know, everybody on the machine, and then like somebody like, all right, like one time I seen somebody pass out on the machine, mm-hmm. tongue hanging out because his blood pressure dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So he was out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to hurry up and get him back before he go to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So that bothers you. And then one time I'm sitting on one end and somebody's sitting across from me. All of a sudden his heart stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get him back. So those things, you know, I mean, that makes it hard because it's like, okay, I'm pretty much in the same boat. You know, I'm doing the same thing he doing. So
yeah, to add to what you said, man, I've experienced that in my should tell you, in one of my chemo sessions, a man actually died next to me, an older gentleman, man, and they asked me did I want to stop, what I tell him?
Mm-mm.
I said no. I said that's between him and the guy. I said that was his appointment. Like that came literally next to me, sat next to me, and took somebody out right next to me while I'm receiving chemo treatment. You know what I'm saying? And it was something to see. But the thing I would add to what you were saying, like when she was asking her the question would be is people forget, man, sometimes, and I'm not saying everybody, because everybody got pressures in life and stuff like that. Yeah. But you gotta just stop and just give grace, man. Grace is free. You know what I'm saying? Like give grace and understand what this person is going through. And I'm not saying you in particular, I'm just saying everybody, just people in our situations or come from situations like we have. I think that people need to give grace more and just, you know what I'm saying? Like I thank God for Tara, man, for being there for me, man, because you know what I'm saying? It was just the anticipation of knowing what I needed before I even needed it. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So and not only Tara, just, you know, the rest of the people that was around me, God really surrounded me with the people that I needed at that time, man. You know what I'm saying? So in that particular sense, you know, that provided the grace and the compassion for me to get through what I'm going through and not bother me on the situation. Just make sure that, listen, man, they already know. She knew. She seen the agony. She seen the pain. She seen what I was going through.
Right.
She seen everything, man. So, and in that case, you know, what we was talking. I showed in one of my support groups Today I was reading something
Mhm.
today from you. It was saying that the
Yeah, you were saying that basically a young lady had went through a double mastectomy,
mastectomy. Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, and basically she was saying that in her small town it was difficult for her because her gentleman friend had actually left her and went to someone else in the community, and it was painful for her.
After
And
8 years of being with him.
and the thing about that you know, as we get ready to transition into a close, is for people who are listening to this, no one who's going through this type of change or difficulty in life asked for it. So one of the things to remember, like when I'm asking the question, what would you need from someone who's on assignment to help you, is to really have them to listen. Like not to be irritated, take their time, not to be irritated with the circumstance because it's an inconvenience to you. Imagine the inconvenience that they're having in their life. You imagine if the shoe was on the other foot, would you want someone to make you feel like you're an irritation to them?
Oh, bother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like everybody's making adjustments. So make the adjustment and make it as easy and painless as you can. And like Dedric just said, he does what he has to do because he has to do it. So, and that's it. It got to be done. So some days are going to be better than others. But regardless of the fact, like Eric was saying, give grace. You extend grace to everybody else when we say, come on and go in front of me. Extend grace to your loved one who's literally working a part-time job for life.
At life.
Yeah, like he's having to work a part-time job.
Mm-hmm. What's
equivalent to a part-time job to stay alive. So if you think that this person is going to come from dialysis and automatically get up and say, well, let me go work my 8-hour shift. Some do, and kudos. But in reality,
yeah, that's a struggle.
It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I can tell you kind of from experience, it's a struggle. Like it was days I went to dialysis and I left from the dialysis center and went to doing I used to do shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get to these places and shop for the customers, and it was times I could barely stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to give me something ice cold to drink and wait for it to take effect so it can help me feel a little better. But they pulling fluid off you and you on the machine for those hours. Yeah, you could be exhausted.
Mm-hmm. So think about it. Like before we actually get irritated with having to be inconvenienced, think about the person who's actually working a part-time job to stay alive. Like your part-time job is your dialysis to stay alive.
Right.
Consider that.
Or chemo.
Yeah. I mean, that was full-time for you.
Yeah.
Like literally. When you were in
day.
chemo, that was every day, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Whoa.
So that's 6 to 8 hours a day. I mean, that's a full-time job.
On Thanksgiving. Remember I had chemo on Thanksgiving.
And you better believe you went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's got to be done.
Yeah.
So just like it's no days off, like you don't take days off because you want to enjoy dinner with your family. Because if your day off that you enjoy dinner with your family may be the last dinner that you enjoy with your family. So it's no days off. You understand what I'm saying? So
You can't miss.
Mm-mm.
You can't have that pattern of missing because you fool around and expire.
Mm-hmm. You want to close this out, Mr. Eric?
Hey, man. Just give grace, man. That's the title. That's the word for the day. Grace.
Grace and patience.
That's it. It's great.
Ask for what you want. Like if you need more grace, ask for it. I'm just saying. We ask for everything else. If you want more salt, you say, can I get more salt? But we don't ask for more grace. Think about it. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode of New Life. And that's New Life for Life. Until next time. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You got to tag everything.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Okay?
NewLife.com.
Go to newlife.com. Go to New Life LLC. Go to Instagram, New Life. Go to New Life Facebook. He has a cancer support group on Facebook. Neau.
Life.
Life. That's Neaulife. Until next time.